Well, that was not what we expected or wanted. Very interesting game by the Blues. You know what? I talked about this at the pregame show. I was concerned that they were looking ahead to the Rangers. And to me, that's what it looks like. It feels like they were looking ahead to the Rangers, and that's what happened. I'd hope not. I hope that they weren't looking ahead to the Rangers, but that's what I think happened, guys. I think that they were looking ahead towards the Rangers, and this is what happens when you look ahead. It's absolutely what happens when you look ahead. I'm trying my best to work on the sound a little bit and make it a little better, but I'm not sure if I'm doing any good or not. So hopefully you guys are able to hear me and I don't sound too bad to you. In my ears, it goes in and out, so I don't know what you're hearing. To be honest with you, so I'm just doing the best I can, my friends, the best I can. Well, as we go on, and now I'm getting a little squeaky again. Sorry about that, guys. Not sure why that's coming, but now we got to figure out sour game tonight. Yeah, I agree. Uh, Near the end of the second, I started to say maybe we need to spend a game just being aggressive, and then a no call on a head hit, and the Blues did nothing physically right to right that wrong. You might be right there, bud. You might be right. I kind of am with you there. I think that you could be right on that. To be honest with you, um, I don't know what's going on with the mic tonight. It's just going in and out on me. Everything I do seems to be wrong. But hey, you do what you can, right, buds? Right? Maybe take the release down a little bit. Maybe that'll help. 1, 2. Yeah, there we go. Maybe that helps some. Bring the attack up, and maybe I'll sound a little better. Bring the ratio up. Bring the gain down. No, I think I need to bring the gain up on the compressor. Okay, that sounds a little bit better. There we go. Now I'm getting that squeak again. But there we go. I think I got it out. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. You're fine. Don't worry about the mic, bud. I think I got it a little better. Tarasenko pass back and clears the zone, and it happens often. Now that I have seen, and I have seen some of that blatant interference, no call, absolutely on that one, my friend. I saw that was a shocker to me that's what happened on that one. That it was so blatant, and then Jamie's tried to say that it wasn't an interference call, or at least the refs didn't think it was an interference call, but it was absolutely an interference call. There's no doubt in my mind that was an interference call. No doubt in my mind whatsoever about that being an interference call. Yeah, it is what it is. I saw it. I believe it was an interference call, and it should have been called. But hey, it is what it is, my friends. It is what it is, and you do with what you got to do with it, right? That's on the mic. The rest didn't decide anything, but they missed two obvious calls. No, they didn't decide anything, but they did dictate the play of the game, right? When you're calling one side and not the other, and they only called 3 penalties, right? There was more than 3 penalties in that game, and when you're only calling 3 penalties, it makes me wonder what you really watching the game, right? The Ottawa Senators completely outplayed the Blues today. They hit 3 posts. Tkachuk finally gets his goal. He's working a TBS game, TNT game tomorrow. That's why he's not here. He's working for TNT tomorrow. So on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, he's usually not there, but he should be back by Wednesday. He should be back for the Thursday night game. Well, let's hope it does get a suspension. We'll see if they look at it. I wasn't completely sure that it was a head hit, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't expect. I'll be honest with you. I don't expect anybody to get a suspension for something they do to the Blues. I don't see it. It seems like I remember last season I wrote that article, hit a Blue and get a thank you. Right. That's what we were playing. They're playing like the worst team in the league. No. So Erickson, I that's not the case. Okay. They're a little off kilter right now, but that doesn't make them like they're playing like the worst team in the league. They're not a fast, speedy team, and fast, speedy teams, young teams, and that's what we're playing a lot of, can get ahead of you. And if you get ahead, then you can keep that aggressiveness up, and it takes the aggressiveness away from the better team. And that's what happened. They let that first goal go in. Well, I didn't let it. It went in. Again, Erickson, this is something that I've talked about. When you say that, you're saying that the difference between the top team and the bottom team is this. All right, trying to get my hands to where you can see it here a little bit. You're saying that the difference is this, right? However, that's under an electron microscope. That's under the smallest of details. They're absolutely like this. That's the difference between the top team and the bottom teams in this league. And it's the same with football and baseball and anything else. Oh, it does. If he jumped, it makes it intentional, and hopefully they'll show the player. It gets reviewed. Let's hope it does get reviewed there. But Erickson, what I'm trying to say is that that's why I think when you say they're losing to the worst teams in the league, no, they're not. The bottom teams are just anybody can beat anybody. Tonight, the Colorado Avalanche gave up 5 unanswered goals to the New Jersey Devils, right? Everyone has a bad game. We've had a couple of them in a row. I think they were looking forward to the Rangers. I really do. It just gives me this feeling that they were looking forward to the Rangers, and they took Ottawa lightly, and you cannot do that. You cannot take any team in this league lightly, and it feels like that to me. Yeah, they do look tired. They did look tired. They're playing all these games. They need to. Yeah. Yeah, that's what they're talking about. This, playing 8 and 9 on the road. It was a pretty long road trip, and they need to get back in it. They've got they've got 2 of the next 3 are at home. You have the Rangers on Thursday, then you go down to Nashville on Saturday, and you come back home on Sunday. I think the Sunday game is a later game of practicing. Okay, I get it, and it's possible. Right? I don't want them looking forward to the playoffs because they could slip out. I mean, you look at Nashville and Dallas, and they were in a fit. Nashville ends up winning that game 2-1 over Dallas. So that they're in a fist fight. Minnesota beat the Rangers 5-2. Winnipeg beats Tampa 7-4. Chicago's up 7-3 on Anaheim, which doesn't really affect us. But Calgary and Washington are tied at 2, and that kind of affects us, right? I said it earlier. New Jersey beats Colorado 5-3. Philly beats Vegas 2-1. Florida over to Pittsburgh 4-3. Good win for them. Toronto ends up beating Seattle 6-4. Arizona 9-2 over Detroit, and then the Blues losing to. I don't know why the stats aren't working anymore on this. For some reason, the stats don't work. Yeah, I'm not sure why. It's they're just not coming up. They're just not showing up. It might be Chrome. I don't know. But they're showing up down. I mean, The Blues just had a bad game. You give it to Kachuk. He finally scored his first goal in St. Louis in all the games he's played against them. That's his first goal against them. I give it to him. They played well. The Blues just didn't seem to click tonight, and it's going to happen. You're going to have games like that, right? You're really, really going to have games like that. Okay, where am I at? Okay. Get outplayed like that's embarrassing. You're right. The team is good, and we talked about that. Chris says they had almost a month in February. They shouldn't be this tired. They had I was worried about that. I thought I thought that we are still second in the Central and third in the West. Right? Calgary will jump ahead of us. They need to start playing soon. I was worried about February, all those days off in February, how little game. The fact that the Blues didn't have games canceled, I had a feeling that this might hurt us. And I wish they would have taken more of these April and March games and moved them into February. I really do. But the schedule is what the schedule is. A month is like an off season that helps no team. No, they only played. I know they only played 8 games in the month of February, right? 8 games. They won 8 games in other months, right? When you only play 8 games in an entire month, it really affected the team, and they did. The 11 days off that shouldn't have happened. They shouldn't have had that much time off. There was just way too much time off, and now that they're trying to get back into it, and they're tired, and their bodies aren't used to this new tightened up schedule, and it's going to take a little bit. Okay, Ducks claimed defenseman Andre Stur off of waivers, second stint with the Ducks. Thank you, Brian, our waiver wire reporter. Thank you, Brian. We appreciate that. I just want to see this team take tomorrow, and I'd really rather see him do a team meeting tomorrow. Not get out there and skate or do a hard practice or anything like that, but just pull it back. He made a couple of mistakes, but he was trying, man. He hasn't scored a goal in 6 games, right? And for him, that's like a long ass drought. So I think he really is trying to find that. And he had a couple of really good shots, and you give it to their goalie. I should have started him instead of Bennington. I probably would have done a little better. Would have got the win at least in a 1.0 GAA. But, I figured Bennington. I thought Bennington had a good game. I really did. I thought Bennington had a good game. He gave up 3 goals. I can kind of sort of put the second one on him. I mean, he didn't get his arm closed quick enough. I get that. I mean, that happens, between your arm and your clothes with you take a jersey, remember, and he's got pads on too, right? He's got a chest pad on, and drop it down there. You're gonna have some space, and I get that, and that's what guys are looking for. They're looking for that space in there. They're looking for that turn, that angle. So that's not. I mean, 50-50 on me. The one shot was Robert. Yeah, it was. I mean, I thought he was going to bury that one. I really did. Down on the knee, good puck. I thought he was going. I thought he was going to bury a couple of them. On the Jarrett McCann contract extension, give me a moment and let me take a look at it. To be honest, recently I have some personal stuff going on, so I haven't been paying as much attention to the rest of the league as I normally do. So I need to back up on that, buck up on that. McCann. He's a coach, right? I think he's a coach. Where am I at here? Right. Oh, I love it that's what I love about him too. A player. Okay. Jared CANN. Okay. Sorry, man. My head just goes in so many different directions sometimes. I'm bringing him up here. For Seattle. That's right. I heard about that today. Oh yeah, no, the good signing. I'll give that to him. Signing a young guy, someone you can build around, right? No, I think that's not bad. He'll be a UFA at the end of the 26-27 season when he's 31 years old. No, I think that's a good signing. I like that, right? I do like that. I think that's a smart signing. Take a young guy like that and build around him. Yeah, no, I think that's a very, very smart signing, bud. Right? I did see that. The Mighty Shin he had a good game, but he had a tough game. Basically, the one goal they got was a fluke goal, the backhander. It just surprised everybody, right? And Brady's on. So let's take a listen to Brady.
Want to get the win, but this is a special place for you. You've been coming here for years, and you got your first goal against the Blues, so it's got to feel doubly good for you.
Yeah, no, it's nice to go home and I spent some time there last night and I had the trainers over, so I had some fun there, and it's always nice and special to come back here, see family and friends, and kind of go down memory lane too. So it was a lot of fun, and it was a nice effort by the group here.
Yeah, your dad told me that you had the trainers over last night, the PR staff. He's done that with Matthew and Calgary when they've been in town as well, so he's passing that on to you, right? You got to treat the trainers and the equipment staff well.
Yeah, they're most important guys on the team, so they make the team tick, and there's a lot of comparisons about who put some more damage into the wine cellar, into the drinks. So hopefully we came out on top, but no, it was at the end of the day, it's just great memories that we get to share, and a lot of years with them, and like I said, they make teams tick. They're so important to us.
All right, Brady, be honest with me.
There we go. There's Brady. I don't want to play too much more so I don't get in trouble and, all that shit that goes with it. No, I thought, look, the Blues had a bad game. Plain and simple. Bad loss. Right? Not a good loss. I think the only loss here that I consider a good loss was the Ranger game. Everything else is bad. Yeah, that was good. I know I'm behind a little bit. Well, I watch it on Bally Sports, so I know it's delayed. I know I'm about a minute and a half, but there's time. So I got on my phone. I get the goals before I even see them, and it's like 2 or 3 shifts, or shift and a half before I see it. So I know from actual Enterprise to where I'm seeing it, there's a good difference. So I know on Bally there's on the app. There is a straight delay. And it's just like the delay with me and you. Like when I speak, it's 7 seconds before you guys come up, right? If you're watching it on the app, if you're watching it directly, you should actually be ahead of me. But you never know. I could have watched. Now, I do have NHL Center Ice. Usually that's a little bit further up. But for me, sometimes just setting it up and the commercials that they show, I just try not to go there, but is what it is. I don't know how much more we're going to talk about tonight. I don't know who's here, and the ones that are here, thank you so much. John Hefner, Brad Pond, Jason Nichols, thank you. Greatly appreciate it. You guys are great guys. I love you to death. On the cable TV channel. Ooh, so actually then my Bally Sports is working closer to dead on, but from live, from at the stadium, there was a good minute and a half delay. I saw that. Have re-signed forward Justin Danforth to a 2-year $900. That's not a bad contract. There's a lot of teams right now that are going to be looking for those like that. Dude, when we're in OT, you're 1 minute ahead of me, so I'm 2 minutes back. Yeah. Yeah, wow. I try and work it as best I can, and do what I can. I'm on the direct TV stream. Yeah, that I could see. I'm here as always. I know I love you, man. Brian helping me out, telling me Brian, we gotta make you figure out a way to make you our permanent wire guy. You know, the guy that's the news guy, make you our news guy. Maybe have you come on the show. I don't know if you'd like that, but if you would, send me a message. Send it. My email address is either Guy or Guy Bensing at stlfanreport.com. Going to Charter on Friday. Just make sure that Charter carries that. I'm right here. Hope something prevails for your show in the future, Guy. I'm really sorry. You know, Chris, I know you're here. And it is what it is, guys. I try and do the best job I can, right? I give you what I think. And I think I have a pretty decent hockey knowledge, right? I think I understand the game pretty well. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But I also look at it, I see things a little differently, right? Just like Ted Lasso, you know, for season 1 of Ted Lasso, he goes into the coach or into the owner and says, look, if we lose and get relegated, you know, go ahead and fire me. I'm okay with that. You know, what these guys need is a real soccer coach, football coach. And she says, well, wait a minute. You know, there's a saying in Dutch football, for every advantage, there's a disadvantage, or for every disadvantage, there's an advantage. Well, you know, the fact that he doesn't have all the knowledge they have means he sees things outside of the box or differently. So, you know, you can bring chaos, bring the chaos hammer, right? On Man United, bring the chaos hammer. Well, I try and bring the chaos hammer on Blues hockey and Blues podcasters and that. And you know what? I do what I can. And if you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. If you don't like me, turn the channel off. That's all I ask. Turn the channel off. Don't do anything other than turn the channel off. Don't need to report me. Don't need to do anything else but turn the damn channel off. Period. Plain and simple. That's the end of it. Right? We'll do the best we can. We'll make do with what we got and go from there. But you know, it is what it is. I'm doing the best I can. 24 NHL teams entering trading for Minnesota Wild forward Jack McBain prospect. He's very good high potential prospect, but some reason Wild don't want to sign him. They might not have the money to sign him right now, right? There you go. Brian, I think that's more of a money issue with them. To be honest, I think they're like way up against the cap. I know it wouldn't count towards next year, but I think even next year they're up against the cap. But let me take a big look at the Wild and see where they're at. So the Minnesota Wild have 2.3 million. Well, 2.3 million right now. So they got a little bit of room to play with. Got all but one of the 7th round draft pick this year for the next 3 years. Nick Barkstead, he's a unrestricted free agent next year. Connor DeWare is a restricted free agent. Nico Strum, unrestricted free agent. Both of them are making just above, you know, Nick is making 900, Strum making 725. Now here, Alex Goligoski is an unrestricted free agent, and that's $5 million that comes off the books. And I don't know if they're going to talk about moving him. He's got he's a 35 plus contract with the no movement clause, so he's not getting traded. 18, no modified 18, no trade clause for him, but he's got a few years. They're Kokkinen. Now he's a restricted free agent. That's where some of their money is going to have to go. Right, when they're only playing Talbot $3.6 million, I can see some of that money going elsewhere. I can really see some of that money going elsewhere, to be honest with you. Right, and then they have the dead cap. They have $4.7 million in dead cap from Suter and Frazee. You know, I just think that maybe they see something that we don't, bud. Berube apparently called Butch to concussion protocol, but seemed fine on the bench. Ooh. Okay. Was that the hit in the head that you guys were talking about earlier? Well, I signed for around 7 or his entry deal if the Wild did sign him. And they've got the money, so now it's just on them. Maybe they don't have the room for him, or and that could be something too. We have a good team. They're sucking at being in sync to get the puck in the net. And they are having a little issue with being in sync right now. And you know what? That's going to happen during a season. And I think that they will get through it. I think that get out of it. That was it, the hit. Okay. So, yeah. So now if he did go in concussion protocol, then that will get looked at.
I think
right.
There's no lack of talent, that's for sure, in that room and making plays and executing.
I'm listening to Falk right now.
Kind of get into these funks once in a while, and you got to be able to see it through on the other side of that. Sometimes it is tough. You don't execute, and you got to kind of cut your losses there and just go to a game that's pretty simple and sometimes just build a greasy one to kind of get ourselves out of it. And I think that's kind of where we're headed here. Just we had definitely had better effort tonight than we did previous two games, I think. But not comfortable with it by any means, but it happens once in a while, and we just need to.
Hey, Josh, how you doing, buddy?
Right now, how do you keep from maybe frustration setting in for the team?
Yeah, I think you just said it.
I'm listening to the press conference right now,
at some point,
and you can tell they're frustrated. You can tell they're frustrated. You can tell that they're struggling, and I get it. I see where they're coming from, and it's okay. You're going to have bad games. You take tomorrow, you get your heads right. Maybe a lighter practice. Work on some neutral zone stuff. Right. Was that in the third period? I didn't see it, and so I'm kind of. No, I missed something, so I'll have to go back and try and find it or look at it. Right? Well, I appreciate that, Chris. Mike Smith got injured again. Do you think he needs to retire now? Brian, I don't know. That might be he might be moving that way. It all depends on what the injury is. Right. It all depends on what the injury is. Shoulder injury, maybe, the knee. Yes. If it's a continual knee, I get it. That was an interesting NASCAR race. I watched some of the Vegas race this weekend. I watched the back half of it, the last part of it. I'm in a fantasy league with Bob Morton, but keep forgetting to pick my damn drivers. It's killing me. I got to remember to do that. Well, I appreciate that, E. Thank you. I missed Thursday and Saturday. Thursday moving into the new house, and Saturday have a game. We love you, bud, and I know you're here in spirit, and that's all that counts. He's coming off his feet. Him coming off his feet said intentional. I'm with you, Jason Nichols. Watch it again. I have to see it. Aaron Rodgers' new contract is insane. I thought that was. I don't want to get into football on here. Maybe on the on the off night we can talk about that. But try and keep it more to what we're dealing with the post game show. I know that they're going off air here shortly, and so will I. I want to look, guys. I appreciate you dealing with all the stuff that I got to deal with and sticking by me and knowing how important I am to you and knowing how important you are to me. I got to tell you. Each and every one of you mean a real lot to me, and the fact that you support me and support the show, and maybe I can get the website back up and start doing some things, but keep your support going. This is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, saying aloha mahalo. I'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Hockey Fan Report. Aloha mahalo, and have a wonderful evening.